You gonna feel all this we got to do? Look, hey Tank, we gonna go 35, 12.
Many years ago, legendary champion Marvin Hagler remarked that it's hard to get up and do road work at 5 a.m. when you're sleeping in silk pajamas. In other words, when you're hungry, when you're chasing something, the grind comes natural.
Good.
But once you're comfortable, that fire can fade.
Prime Video just dropped new footage from Gervonta, Tank Davis's 4th day of training camp, and it's exactly what his fans were hoping for. This wasn't just a look at a fighter going through the motions. Tank looked fired up, more focused, more intense, and more determined than he did in his first bout against Lamont Roach. You could see the hunger in every move he made.
10, 9, 8, 7, power, 6, 5, power, 4, power, 3, 2, one more. Good. Hit the head. Roll under the bed. God.
That lawnmower. That's that.
It's not just another fight or title defense. This is the return of Gervonta, Tank Davis, he said as the video kicked off, and from the looks of it, he means business. Tank's routine has completely changed. These days, his training starts bright and early with a morning jog, and he wraps things up with another run in the evening. In between, his schedule is packed with intense workouts and a carefully balanced diet to make sure his body gets everything it needs to stay in top shape.
Very, very big moment. What is your normal day-to-day like at this time of a camp?
I'm also a night person, but I might go to sleep probably around like 3 to 4. Probably wake up probably like 11, get my run in, and then eat, probably lay back down, and then wake up probably like 6 or 7 and get my night workout in.
Damn, so you're doing 2-a-days at this point, running in the morning.
For the first time in a while, Tank is seriously focused on building muscle to boost his strength and power. As the WBA lightweight champion, he was caught off guard when he realized his punches didn't have the same impact on Lamont Roach. That moment pushed him to make changes. Now, he's all in, training harder, getting stronger, and making sure every part of his game improves. This time around, Tank knows that if he wants to beat Roach, he has to do everything better, and he's leaving nothing to chance.
Freeze mode, let's go.
I know I can beat him, I've done it before, Tank said. It's not about him. It's about me. I just need to do everything better. That mindset has shaped his entire training camp. Every session is designed to push him further and sharpen every part of his game. One major change?
Oh, there you go. There you go. There you go. Take deep breath when you want. Take deep breath. Right. Take deep breath.
Oh, stop cold enough and let it go. Keep on, step on. Keep on.
The goal behind all this? To build endurance and improve his overall athletic performance, Gervonta, Tank Davis is now putting extra focus on his footwork, making sure his movement is smoother and more controlled, especially important against a fighter like Lamont Roach, who likes to stay in close and carefully pick his shots. Tank is also dedicating solid time to shadow boxing, mitt work, and heavy bag sessions, all to sharpen his timing, speed, and precision.
How you put your balance felt like?
Interestingly, the biggest and most noticeable change in Tank's camp, and possibly the most important, is the return of his longtime head trainer, Calvin Ford. Having Ford back in his corner could make all the difference this time around.
Ill will isn't enough. Thus, the heightened intensity in camp.
Turn it up, turn it up.
Oh, good rim. I like the way y'all jump right back in.
Unfortunately, Calvin Ford was missing from Gervonta Tank Davis's corner for the first time in his fight against Lamont Roach, and some believe that played a role in Tank's loss. Still, Davis told fans not to worry. "Calvin's back in the gym with me now. He just needed to come back to make sure everything's better," he said. "Coach Barry's here too. Everyone's here, and we're all focused on the same goal." While many expected Ford to be in Tank's corner on March 1st, the veteran coach had his own reasons for sitting this one out. Fans have long been used to seeing the familiar trio of Gervonta Davis, Calvin Ford, and Kenny Ellis, a bond that reminded many of legendary partnerships like Tyson and Cus D'Amato, Canelo and Eddie Reynoso, or Pacquiao and Freddie Roach. That's why seeing Barry Hunter step in caught fans off guard and raised questions about what led to the shake-up. In an interview with Fight Hub TV, Calvin Ford offered some clarity. Davis was headlining his second PBC pay-per-view card on Amazon Prime Video, with the Barclays Center hosting a stacked event that included multiple high-stakes fights, including 2 light welterweight title bouts. The event featured a stacked lineup, including 2 light welterweight title fights. Like many fans, Calvin Ford was looking forward to the action and was curious to see how Tank's training would show in the ring. With Davis from Baltimore and Roach from Washington, D.C., Ford recalled how often the two used to spar back in the day. He spoke highly of Roach's work ethic and saw this fight as a big moment for both fighters. Ford also wanted to clear up any confusion. "People are reading too much into it. We're not changing anything," he said. "I just stepped back for a bit. The training routine stayed the same." The interviewer made sure to point out that they weren't suggesting a split or falling out between Ford and Davis. They were simply wondering if the short break might have strengthened their relationship, like how family members sometimes appreciate each other more after spending time apart. Ford responded honestly, "No, he came to check on me, telling me to slow down. He was worried. He knows I spend a lot of time with my amateur fighters. That's my piece. You both know me, that's just who I am. You all know me well, I spend a lot of time with my amateur fighters. That's my piece," Coach Ford said. Even though he wasn't directly training Tank during that period, knowing Tank was still working hard gave him reassurance. Ford also said that being apart actually helped them both appreciate their bond more. When Ford returned to the gym, he could tell Tank missed him, just as much as Ford missed Tank. No one knows exactly why the break happened, but it could explain why things felt a little different. Barry Hunter offered similar reassurance. "Calvin will be there, Coach Barry will be there, Coach Boogie will be there, and Kenny will be there too," he said in an interview. Even though Calvin Ford and Kenny Ellis won't be in Tank's corner for the fight, Hunter and the other coaches will still be fully involved, so it's not a big deal. Hunter also reminded fans that changes in Tank's corner aren't new. He's been with Tank since his amateur days and early pro career, so he knows the team well. He pointed out that the internet often spreads rumors and people jump to conclusions without knowing the whole story. He made it clear that Tank's team is like family, and this move seems to be just a temporary one.
We did how many rounds? We probably did at least like 8 straight.
Yeah, but you in the bag for about 8-2.
Yeah.
Very good. You're not in bad shape.
Yeah. Just got put up on my
No one saw it coming on March 1st when Gervonta Davis stepped into the ring with Lamont Roach Jr. Almost everyone had picked the Baltimore fighter for another big win. But when the final bell rang, many fans were left confused and disappointed. Putting aside the controversy that followed, what stood out was a Tank Davis who seemed distracted and unusually easygoing in the fight, not the fighter they knew. If you've seen Davis's latest interview with Pound for Pound, you might want to add one more word to describe him: burned out.
And Lamont Roach. Can you tell us a little bit about the history between them two?
Oh man, they've been knowing each other from the amateurs, silver gloves, everything. They grew up actually together, you know. Roach and him back and forth battles and whatnot. It's gonna be a pretty interesting fight, you know what I'm saying? Because Roach he come to fight, and I think it's a great fight.
The light heavyweight champion joined hosts and former UFC champs Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo on their popular show's latest episode. From his last fight against David Morrell to the upcoming Canelo-Conor matchup, the trio covered a lot of ground, but when the conversation turned to Gervonta Davis and his March 1st fight, things got more serious. For David Benavidez, it wasn't the controversy over Tank taking a knee without punishment or the fight's decision that bothered him the most. It was how Tank fought. "What I didn't like was that Tank was letting Lamont Roach build confidence, giving him way too much respect," Benavidez said. He was basically helping him out.
All that stuff about, why Roach? Because he signed and took the fight, you know what I'm saying? And it's good for the community.
Now, do you feel like there's unfair criticism because of Lamont Roach not being as known of a fighter
To Kamaru Usman, Tank did seem a bit distracted in the fight. But to Henry Cejudo, it looked like Davis might be finished. Still, Usman said he was mostly happy with the fight's final result, a majority draw. He looked distracted, Usman said. We all know Tank is a beast, and there were moments where he showed that. But overall, he just seemed off. Cejudo took it a step further, comparing Tank's situation to that of his former mentor, Floyd Mayweather. He suggested that maybe Davis was following Mayweather's path, focusing more on staying safe and avoiding losses than pushing to win every fight.
He wasn't buzzed. There was, I don't know what round it was, and he fell in, pulled out, and Lamont Roach countered with, I believe it was a right hand, right? When he came back to the corner, he said, he caught me one time. And definitely he felt that shot. But for the most part, other than that, he thought that he could see most of the punches coming. That was the only punch that got his attention. Yes.
He pointed out that Tank has a love-hate relationship with boxing and isn't sure how to handle the pressure. He's thinking, what if I lose? David Benavidez added, maybe he's just burned out. Benavidez went on to explain, a lot of us have been boxing for 26 years. I don't know exactly how long Tank's been at it, but he started really young, like at 5 years old. That's a long time in the sport. Because of that early start and the long journey, it might explain why Tank seems to be running low on fire or showing signs of emotional exhaustion today.
I'm getting back in the gym in like a week. I'm gonna take a good, probably couple of days off, but I gotta get back in the gym. Ball ahead, pass it, man.
Yep. Hey, man, Warren here from High 97. Lamont definitely learned stuff about you in this time, in this bout right here. What have you learned in this fight from Lamont that you could take forward in the next fight?
I could have stopped him.
With Tank's talk of retirement and the huge fortune he's already made, it's possible that the fire inside him has faded. What Benavidez said is his personal opinion and open for debate, but it's hard to ignore the points he brought up. A good example to think about is Anthony Joshua. Unlike Benavidez or Tank, Joshua started boxing late, at 18 years old. He worked his way up through the amateur ranks and hit his peak by winning gold at the London Olympics.
It's me. Definitely my fault.
Right here. Hey Tank, congratulations.
Thank you.
So at the end you talked about how the audience has like a love-hate relationship. Sometimes they love you, sometimes they don't. And obviously they were reacting during the fight. Did that affect your performance or confidence at all?
No, I wasn't really paying attention to the crowd. You know what I mean? I was more so...
Fans will have to wait until the rematch on August 16th to see if what Benavidez said is true, or if what happened on March 1st was just a one-time thing. Sports journalist Chris Mannix spoke with 3 senior boxing referees about the Davis-Roach fight. All 3 agreed that when Tank took a knee, it should have been ruled a knockdown. Even more, one of the referees said that because of Tank's quick move to wipe his face, he should have been disqualified.
If that was your first time watching Tank, you're probably like, okay, yeah, sort of, I get it. But it kind of speaks to his demeanor going into the fight. Like it just felt a little bit underwhelming. And then we get to the 9th round, and then it's complete madness, because in the 9th round, you probably have heard by now, the fight is moving along, and it is important to note that Lamont Roach lands a jab or two, and where we want to start the clock,